Kathy Vick, deeply awake. Well, it was a snow day, so I didn't go to work, but I worked, didn't I? I'm going to now read a channeling that I was mysteriously brought to, just as I was closing up shop tonight after my last offering. And I have not read it, just the first little bit, but I like being read to, and I know I'm supposed to read this tonight. So I'm going to read it, post it, and go night-night. It's very early, but it's a snow day. I will, because it's playful and fun. Before I do this channeling thing, which is from 2014. Ooh. This is my Dory onesie. Ready? What do you think? Is it me? I was wanting to get a real fuzzy one that's like a 2X so I can wear it to parties, but in the meantime, I have a Dory onesie that I just wear at home and show off on video. Whatever. Here we go. And this is from 26th of April of 2014. And it's entitled Evidence of Things Unseen. And so we begin by explaining some of the shifts which have recently occurred for many, and to explain how this shift has impacted the channel and this project. We tell you now that tectonic movement has occurred, of which you are aware but vibrationally, as individual entities and as a mass consciousness. These shifts have produced and will continue to produce fundamental alterations in most pursuits of daily life, and more to the point, how daily life is henceforth perceived by many of you. We have allowed the channel to catch up, so to speak, and she is in agreement with this fundamental alteration we have been presenting to her incrementally for some time. We bring up the personal to point out this is not personal at all, and far from holding on to such changes and shifts, speaking of them is far more imperative at this time. This channel agreed long ago to play the fool, in many respects, and she is comfortable in this role. And this is a shift many of you also are aware of. The wisest of you have had the most foolish of lives, have you not? Many of you have extricated yourselves from the ruin more than once, and are more than aware of your so-called flaws in character. And many of you are coming to see that having done foolish things, and having had foolish thoughts about your fellow travelers, your existence and your purpose, nature, space, this has taught you more than any amount of preaching from a mound of sand could. Is not the walk of a master to guide and encourage, and to see worth in that which is understood as worthless? A master must soften worthlessness, desolation, despair. And in the end, is not the master's walk one of gentleness, wisdom, clarity, and stillness? One often thinks of these terms in your culture, and we wish to encourage the idea that a master's walk is one of peace. However, we wish to remind all who read and follow along that masters are made in cauldrons of discontent and in times of fundamental shifts in consciousness. We wish to show you in the most concrete terms, using simple language, the truth of it, that you are a spiritual entity who is having a physical experience and not the reverse. We gave this to the channel, and she felt the frequencies each state holds. It is important to find these tracers, these feeling states, and identify them for reference and direction, as you make your way through quantum reality. We wish to clarify that there has been a distinct and wholly artificial barrier between channeler and the channeled. There is a belief that channeled information for all must not contain that which is personal. We refer, for instance, to the Seth material, footnotes regarding the kitty cat, and house hunting, all in italics. Many channelers will not discuss self. We wish to soften this thinking, as continuing this separation places many at a disadvantage, primarily due to frequential dissonance, which can no longer be maintained within some vehicles. We are here to tell you that blending, melding, merging, coupling, integrating, this is the way of it. And far from being suspected of charlatanism, you may encounter more and more channelers who are finally allowing personal as parable, as connector, as bridge. This comes from, of course, elevating the human to more spiritual terms and feeling as if the spiritual is more tangible, of course. We wish to have you understand that being human is far from an inferior state. It saddens, slows things to think this way, and is the result of DNA calibration, so to speak. Its release from your countenance may take practice. This we tell you to encourage you, asking you not to give up, and to keep on with the marriage afoot. To this end, we wish to announce that with great celebration and permission, of course, the channel now understands that this book is to be a channeled one. She was not aware of it, and had misunderstood initially. She understood at first that the book Entangled would be a dance between channeled information and essay. How surprised she was to finally understand that this was a misinterpretation, an understandable one, for what was about to take place. Dear reader, dear listener, dear shining one, understand that the shifts upon you are shifts which you have long anticipated and contracted for, in that you wanted this, you are made for this time, and have skills for this transition many do not possess. And so, in role of helper and friend, you may now begin to guide others safely home, knowingly and cooperatively, as they wish. One cannot do this work effectively if one is tied to outcome, which means that one must be in complete abandonment of a desire to change another. All systems are made of individuals, and this is sometimes forgotten. There is an overlay, a sort of glamour, that has been placed within mass thinking, and this is changing, no doubt of it. There is the Creator and the creation, and it is this that has been clarified in recent days. As such, many are beginning to see their reality as more powerful than they, more than ever before, while some are smiling, feet up, finally comfortable. And why is this? We have explained that the interplay exists that is outside your perceptual equipment, so to speak, although this has begun to change as well. With too great an identification, creator to created, the creator loses its awareness of an essential function of daily human life: integrity. Creation becomes the all. And what better symbol to have for this construct but money? Oh, it is a beautiful setup, is it not? And now the shift begins. We tell you, can you not feel it? A generalized sense of gratitude, of home, of peace within your skin, regardless of circumstance? Has it not been coming to you in waves from time to time? We told you of doorways recently. Understand, these celestial events have left the doorways wide open. Wide open, you see. No longer a crack or a slit of light is perceived. No, your equipment can pick up more now. And now you are beginning to understand that perceiver is not perceived, and yet, in this very curious light, you are beginning to truly sense, for the first time, that what has been created is conscious, has life and meaning, is significant, and very curiously, seems to be asking you to bless it. As such, many then learn that it is mindfulness, thoughtfulness, simplicity, and warmth. These are vibrations of personal integrity. With these as your metrics, can you not take comfort at the end of a day, perhaps filled with horrible conflicts, that yours perhaps was the role of consoler, of brother, sister, family, standing there in line, sitting at your desk, emptying the trash, being jostled and bumped, as you sometimes might be. That creator and creation are not the same is fundamental and obvious, and yet there are deeper paradoxes at play here. The creation stands as a conscious entity, so to speak. As creator, are you pleased with your work? Does the feeling tone of your creation please you? And will your creation go on to ease others' way? These are questions it is more than legitimate to ask, and we wish to add to this esoterica how things have come to be different, easier, we tell you, easier still. We wish to make it easier. Do you believe that things happen by accident or purposefully? And how much of the time, to what percentage would you say, are things accidents and are things purposeful? We ask you to answer honestly after contemplation. What is your answer? And is it possible that the answer is just one way or the other? If that is so, then if you believe in the accidental, can we not tell you that you are missing out on magic? And for those who believe events are purposeful, we ask you, what is the end game of it all then? Why would daily events in life be purposeful, and yet still one encounters that which is unpleasant, untenable, intolerable? We wonder this too, since it is you who is creating your experience. What is it that you have decided is untenable, intolerable, unpleasant? This is how to start. Why would such an experience be in your awareness? What could be a logical, benevolent answer? The untenable, the intolerable, the unpleasant, these are backdrops, they are contrasts, they are grand splashes of color on the portrait of humankind. If one's creation is unpleasant, intolerable, or untenable, does it not follow that sooner or later the creator will come to accept they could create with a different palette? And perhaps this realization could only come at the end of a grand and bloody, conflicted and angry age of consciousness. We urge you to turn away from thinking in us and them terms when it comes to your fellow creators. This is, after all, a stance of arrogance and vanity, is it not? When was the last time you enjoyed having someone at the office tell you you were doing a task, your task, wrong? Did you enjoy it? Did it help you to feel joyful, confident, or soothed? If not, please, we ask, refrain from such behavior as the plates shift, the plates of human consciousness, we pray. Creators you all are, and this is the cosmic paradox of the age we submit. As a creator, would you prefer to do it plugged into that which produces peace, or would you prefer to paint from the palette of disregard, unthinking, isolation, and separation? As a creator, is the choice not up to you? And so, we will continue to discuss the matters at hand in this manner. We close by telling you of our purpose in communicating now. This channel is well suited for the exploration of consciousness, psyche, and physics, many of whose tenets she knows have not yet been discovered. As such, she is a blend of novice and ancient, as many of you are. We state these facts to explain not her countenance, but ours. She has asked us repeatedly for our name, and it is yet unspoken. We have told her Magartha is important, and you see, that is not our energy. She understands it is after sending this missive out that our name will be given to her. She had a meditation which featured a dearest friend and a favored dreamscape in preparation, and we allow her this desire for ceremony. We are interested in the weaving together of esoterics and the daily walk, you see. This is our specialty, and this is why we groomed a fool, someone who has been last much, someone who knows humility, someone who has made grave errors in judgment, had grand failures, done destructive and misguided things, who has been treated poorly by invitation, choice, and circumstance. Someone such as this understands how wrong they can be, you see, and is slow to trust. This is a lush environment in which to practice our art, which is that of the healing of the heart. It is not the psyche which is in pieces, shut down, dormant. It is the heart. The high heart of humanity awakens, and we humbly give our deepest respect and love to those who have failed at the human game, or felt lost, or been despondent. In this despair and confusion was your call, your choice, your push toward the collective you, the system of support and benevolence which is immensely cooperative and stunningly loving. That its existence is in question is the heartbeat of this age. As creator, use your integrity, your discernment, and we pray your humor in all things. We remind you that light itself is light, and we wish for hearts to become this way. It is possible, you see, when you begin to realize that what is in front of you, behind you, and within you is well known, loved by, created by you. Allow us to leave you with this understanding. We are you, you us, and what separates us is your biology. Understand, we pray, this paradox. Your very biology is rooted in and springs from the unseen forces of creation itself. Can you follow the logic this day and come to a peace with the truth that you have created what is around you, and it is crying out for your recognition and acceptance? That which you feel is ugly or repugnant or even, shall we say it, unacceptable, these abandoned creations will keep knocking until you invite them in to dine with you. They are tame creatures and will not walk through this doorway without invitation, you see. Love that which you have created, understanding that any dissonance or discomfort you feel can be ameliorated not only with energetics but with simple friendliness. We realize we are asking you to love the unlovable, to find peace within great chaos, to feel at home regardless of where you lay your head. Honor your humanness and understand your power. The more you allow this thinking to trickle into the cracks of your group thinking, the easier it will be for your seedlings to grow. Good night.